A leaker is now claiming the Galaxy S26 Ultra could get a Sony-made 200-megapixel camera, which is notably larger than the one on the S25 Ultra. The leak suggests improvement in image quality. A new leak by tipster Fixed Focus Digital on Weibo is now claiming that Samsung's upcoming flagship, the Galaxy S26 Ultra, will sport a 1.1-inch 200-megapixel Sony camera sensor. Reportedly, this new sensor would be for the main camera. The tipster doesn't give any other details about the flagship's other cameras. However, this new 200-megapixel sensor, if it indeed makes it into the Galaxy S26 Ultra, would be a pretty big deal. The report, if true, indicates a pretty big upgrade for the Galaxy S26 Ultra in the camera department. First of all, the claim is that we're talking about a 1.1-inch 200-megapixel camera sensor. This is quite larger than the current 200-megapixel sensor, 1.3-inch, which is on the Galaxy S25 Ultra and previous Ultra models by the company. It's worth noting that this rumored sensor is just slightly smaller than the 1-inch camera sensors seen on some rival Android phones, including the Oppo Find X8 Ultra or the Xiaomi 13 Pro. The larger sensor means there would be an increased light intake, which understandably improves picture quality compared to what the Galaxy S25 Ultra currently has. If the rumor pans out, it would be expected that the Galaxy S26 Ultra will provide better low-light photos and higher-quality cropped zoom images. All in all, the full-resolution 200-megapixel pictures from this sensor could also be dramatically better than the current S25 Ultra's 200-megapixel photos. Of course, all of this is still leaks and rumors, and we're obviously quite far away from the release date of the Galaxy S26 Ultra to know for sure. However, there's one curious thing worth mentioning here. So far, Samsung has always used in-house 200-megapixel cameras for its Ultra models. That is because Sony has not released a sensor with 200-megapixel for smartphones just yet. Rumors claimed back in March that Sony may be working on such a sensor, and these rumors indicated the sensor may be larger than Samsung's. That's a pretty big deal, though. If this new rumor is right, Sony may enter the ultra-high-resolution smartphone sensor market with its new camera that Samsung may introduce with the S26 Ultra. That would be big both for Sony and for Samsung. But there's another thing. Samsung has recently been quite conservative, if I may say so, with hardware upgrades, especially for the Galaxy S series. We all remember the disappointment many Samsung fans felt with the January Unpacked when we saw that there was little new with the Galaxy S25 series. Either Samsung has heard us and decided it will stack up the upgrades next year, or the rumor may be false. The thing is, the Galaxy S26 Ultra has already been rumored to come with a 200-megapixel camera, but none of these earlier leaks claimed it would be a larger sensor or a Sony one. So for now, let's take this information with a grain of salt. Personally, though, I think it's possible to happen. After all, Samsung's given us plenty of upgrades with the Galaxy Z Fold 7 and Z Flip 7, even though we believed at one point that not a lot of upgrades were coming. Maybe finally Samsung is playing seriously again and is about to hit us with a nice surprise with the upcoming Galaxy S26 Ultra. Samsung might be discontinuing the Plus version of the Galaxy S26. Instead of it, the company might release the Galaxy S26 Edge alongside the base Samsung Galaxy S26 and the top-tier flagship Galaxy S26 Ultra. That would be the biggest change to the company's flagship lineup in years. GSMA database listings spotted by Sammy Police currently show 3 model numbers for upcoming Samsung devices, but they don't align with the usual ones. Instead of representing the familiar trio, the newly leaked numbers suggest that the Galaxy S26 series will replace the Plus model with an Edge model, but that's not all. Here are the newly leaked models and their model numbers. Samsung Galaxy S26 SMS942, Samsung Galaxy S26 Edge, SMS947, Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra, SMS948. Every year, Samsung's model numbers end with specific digits, representing the different models. So the regular model would end with 1, the Plus with 6, and the Ultra with 8. This year's Galaxy S25 Edge had a number ending with 7. Precisely this history makes the new listings even more intriguing. Not only might Samsung switch the Plus for an Edge, but there might also be a significant change to the vanilla Galaxy S26. While changing the model number from one that ends with a 1 to one that ends with a 2 doesn't look significant, it could mean that the base Galaxy S26 model may receive a slight improvement. A combination of a slightly bigger screen and a meaningful battery bump might be seen by Samsung as a sufficient reason to change the model number. A bump in battery could potentially refer to an increase in milliampere-hour capacity. Discontinuing the Plus model from the flagship lineup sounds like a déjà vu to me. Apple is also expected to ditch the Plus model and introduce the super slim iPhone 17 Air this year. However, I wouldn't jump to conclusions because of this information. Samsung still has time to add a model number for the Galaxy S26 Plus to the database, and the S26 Edge might be in development and be released later. Part of my doubt about such a radical change is the reports that the Galaxy S25 Edge's sales aren't going great. Unless something has radically changed, chances are that the age of super slim flagship phones will be over as quickly as it started.